online course where your students need to do a refresher or they need to come back and renew their certificate or their license, you probably are dealing with the issue of how do you then set that up in your platform, whether you're using Thinkific or whether you're using any learning management system. How do you prepare your platform so students can come and do a refresher? Let's take a look. Hi, my name is Kat from The Stellar Way, and I am here to help you and many other course creators be able to design, create, and launch your online course. So let's look at what are refreshers, why would people do refreshers, and how do you set it up in your platform? Specifically, we're going to look at Thinkific. So usually, if a student is doing some type of license, like a CPR license, a first aid license, they need to refresh this license every certain number of years. So for example, the CPR is every 5 years. A student has to come and renew their skills. And they do this because after 10 or 15 years from their certificate, things change. And they need to have current information, not outdated information. So it is a requirement, it is mandatory for them to be able to refresh their skills and do what is called a refresher course. Likewise, there are many industries such as a doctor, an accountant, a pilot, a counselor, a psychologist, that they need to have continuous professional development, also known as CPD. And this might be measured by CPD points or hours. So they have to do a number of training sessions per year that they then gain points or hours, and they have to meet a minimum number of hours or points per year to keep their accreditation. So these might be some refresher courses, or they might be smaller versions of your larger course where they come back and refresh and renew their skills so that they too can maintain their current skills. Usually in the industry of, let's say, a teacher or a trainer and assessor, this is called currency, meaning that they have current information. So they need to maintain their currency. So you, as a trainer, you too need to maintain your currency. But what's most important is that you need to manage this in your platform so that students can come in and do refreshers. Now, no matter what the platform you're using, whether you're using Thinkific or any other learning management system, usually there is a blanket problem where you cannot re-enroll the student into the same course. A student is a unique file or a unique identifier in a platform, and a unique identifier cannot be enrolled in a course again. It's just not possible. So what do you do in Thinkific? Let me show you what I would do in Thinkific. So here's my Thinkific account, which is a account that I test in. Okay, it's not my account where I have courses, it's purely just for testing. So here, let me go into my courses. The best way to manage this is to simply duplicate your course, like what you have seen that I have done here. The reason for this is when I go and look at my students, let me go into my students. I only have one student, which is me. This is in my testing account. What we can do is that when I go in and view my student, I can then see their progress and their status and the certificate issued for each course that they are enrolled in. If I was to go and delete or unenroll the student from the course and then re-enroll them to the same course, while that allows them to go into the course and do it again, it is going to delete all of their progress. It is going to delete all of their certificates. And you have no evidence that they have come and done refresher courses with you. So it's important to maintain this evidence so that you can easily display when they studied with you, what was their progress, what was their responses to quizzes and surveys, what were the discussions that they added in group discussions, when was their certificate issued, how did they progress? Did they actually complete? I could go on and on about the data that you can collect. It's important that you do maintain that. For that reason, it is important that you do not unenroll students from the course. Rather, you create a refresher course. Well, you duplicate a course. So let's assume that this is my refresher course for this year. And it's going to be exactly the same for next year, same layout. So I simply go in and I duplicate. Now, while that's duplicating, what we would do now is we would collect all of our videos that we have. We would assume that from year to year, you might have slight changes. Those slight changes are in the videos you have, the material that you provide, because the purpose, like we said, of a refresher is that someone is redoing and maintaining their skills so that they don't have out-of-date information. So it's important that you update your information. So once that's duplicated, you would then have the course here. So here's my copy of my course. I'm going to go into that course, and here in the course, I'm going to change the name. So that will be in settings. And I'm going to call this My Signature Course 2023. So I'm planning for next year. You can make any other changes you like, such as changes to the URL as well. And I'll save that. Now here in the curriculum, you will go through the curriculum and you will make any required changes. So that is making any updates to content that is now new content for this refresher course. Before we enroll students into our course, we need to then go into the published area and we need to publish our course. We can find that there's a lot of lessons here that are in the draft mode. That's okay. We have some lessons that are available. I'm going to click Save. Once that's done, you then need to enroll your students into the course. And there's two ways that you can do that. From here, I'm going to go into pricing. This is a free course, and here I can copy the link. Now, I cannot copy the link in my testing account, but here you can copy the link, which will send people to a page that they can access to sign up. Likewise, if you go into your design, your site, you might have a landing page. And in that landing page, you can then have the link or the button where students sign up and where they pay for your course, and they can then enroll into your course to do their refresher. So this way is how we get a link and we send it to our students so that they can enroll. Now you might manage your students in a separate platform, as in you might send marketing material from a different platform, or you can go straight down to supporting your students and in users here. In users, you would have a little button here. If I was to select a user, I can then send a message. Now in that email, I can include the link. The importance of doing it here is that I can go in and I can start to filter my students. So at the moment, I can currently see one student. I only have one student in my testing account, as we've explained. What we can do is go in and filter what we see. So if I click on filters, we can start to filter about when students were enrolled into courses, what they have completed, what their status is. And so the reason why it's important that we keep this information, so remember why it's important that we keep all of this data here, is that I can do a search by using my filters. I can report on who are the students who have completed the signature course, they have completed the review 2022, but they're not enrolled in the review 2023. So I can then find all of those students. They would then appear in my list here, and I can then simply send them an email with the link to enroll in the refresher 2023. So that's the first method of how you can enroll students into your course, by sending them the URL link to sign up and pay and enroll into your course. The other method is when you go and manually enroll them into your course. So that is from the same page here. We can go in and use filters, And let's say, for example, that I am looking for all of my students who have enrolled in the 2022 refresher and they have completed it 100% and they have not yet enrolled in 2023. Okay, so how we would do that is I'm first going to go, the enrollment status is never enrolled in 2023. And we can see that my student appears here because she's not enrolled yet. I am also going to add another filter that says enrollment status. No, we're going to look for progress. And in progress here, I'm going to select the 2022 and I can say is equal to 100%. And as I do that, you can see that there's no students found because no one's completed it. But this is a process to say I'm only looking for students who have completed the 2022 and now they need to be enrolled in 2023. Let me delete that second so I have students here. Now all you simply need to do is click the box to select all students. You can unselect students you don't want to enroll, and you can also manually choose your students or select all. And then we click on enroll. And here I can enroll 2023. Now it's as simple as that. When I click on my student here, we can then see the active enrollments in all 3 courses. Now if I go back to my users, when I click on a student here and I go to enroll, you can see that all of my published courses are in the list here, regardless of if someone is enrolled in them or not. So if I click on enroll them in the 2020 and I go to enroll, you can see here that there was an error. One student was already enrolled in the course, which means that while you can literally see all of your published courses, it doesn't mean that you can enroll a student or re-enroll a student into the same course. So I hope that this has been helpful in helping you to understand what refreshers are, why students would use them, and how you would create them in your platform. Now, while I was demonstrating Thinkific, this is very common across platforms where you cannot enroll a student into the same course. Remember at the beginning I explained it's like a unique identifier. You cannot enroll the same thing into the same course. So the best way to deal with it is by duplicating your courses. Now each week I do post a video onto YouTube. If you do have a question or you would like to see something demonstrated, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to create a video for you. Until next time, happy course creating!